Well, it's been the fourth consecutive day of aviation chaos across Indian airports. More than 1,000 IndiGo flights have been cancelled in the last 3 days. From departures from New Delhi that have been cancelled till midnight, flyers are stranded for hours across multiple airports, in response to which the Indian Civil Aviation Regulator has now eased the flight duty time limitation norms. My colleague Jyotsna is joining us on the broadcast to break down the IndiGo meltdown.
Well, thank you so much, Samiksha. Now, disruptions in IndiGo's operations have left thousands of passengers stranded across airports with little to no information on flight status. Now, these are the images that you see right there from Delhi's Indira Gandhi International Airport. Now, this is where desperate passengers are seen thronging IndiGo's counters for flight information. Luggage can be seen piled up at the airport. Now, a similar situation was witnessed at Pune Airport as well. Angry passengers were seen stuck in queues without water and food, and this after several IndiGo flights either cancelled or were delayed. And from Pune in Maharashtra to now Hyderabad, people were furious and were seen sloganeering at the airport. They are raising anti-IndiGo slogans and seeking justice from the Indian government. Meanwhile, in Chennai, angry passengers are seen questioning the IndiGo ground staff. They are demanding the airline for answers after their flight disruptions.
You are saying half the trip. You are saying half the trip, right? License will be cancelled. What is the half of the trip? It is not helping me. All I am saying. Yeah, I want my cancellation.
The question is, why is IndiGo worse hit compared to other airlines? Here's why. Now, with its fleet of over 400 aircraft, IndiGo operates over 2,300 flights a day. IndiGo alone accounts for over 60% of domestic passenger traffic. Even a 10% flight cancellation rate would mean over 230 cancelled flights for IndiGo. And by contrast, the next biggest airline group, Air India, operates less than half the number of flights. Well, moreover, IndiGo connects over 90 domestic and 45 international destinations on a daily basis. A narrow-body aircraft like the Airbus A320, which forms the bulk of IndiGo's fleet, usually operates multiple flights a day. IndiGo's aircraft and crew utilization levels are higher than other Indian carriers like Air India or Akasa Airs. Now, the airline also has more high-volume nighttime flights that is compared to its competitors. Although IndiGo is a champion of low-cost carrier model, it does so with a lean staffing model. This means that delays and cancellations can quickly cascade. The situation became worse if flight crews reach their duty hour caps due to delays, and the airline has to scramble for a replacement crew. Now, keeping aviation safety in mind, the DGCA tightened flight duty time limitations. Now, under the FDTL rules, the weekly rest period for pilots was increased to 48 hours from 36 hours. Night landings have been limited to 2 from 6, that was earlier. This is learned to have impacted IndiGo's crew rostering significantly. The norms have also extended the definition of night hours by an hour, imposing additional constraints on the airline's operations. Under the norms, not more than 2 consecutive night duties are allowed. The rules are aimed at better combating pilot fatigue, which is a key risk in aviation safety. However, they collided head-on with winter schedules, a pilot crunch, and a burst of technical snags. Now, but why is flight duty time limitations back in news? Now, let me take you a little back in time. The revised DGCA FDTL rules were notified with immediate effect on May 31st last year. The Indian aviation regulator initially asked airlines that they are required to comply by June 1st, 2024. But the implementation flight duty time limitations rules was deferred following pushback from IndiGo and other airlines. Now later, DGCA decided to do the rollout and roll out the norms in a phased manner. They were rolled out in 2 phases in July and November. Now, while IndiGo managed the first phase, which included longer weekly rest periods for crew, without much impact, the second phase, requiring curtailed crew utilization levels for the red-eye flights, hit IndiGo a lot harder. Now, let's take a look at what IndiGo has told DGCA in its meeting. Now, the airline has said that the flight cancellations will continue for next 2 to 3 days. IndiGo has informed that it will reduce its flight operations to minimize disruption from December 8th, while assuring that normalized and stable operations will be fully restored by February 10th next year. While known for its punctuality, the sharp drop in its on-time performance, IndiGo has said that disruptions are due to misjudgment and planning gaps. Now, amid the flight disruptions, the airline has admitted that the actual crew requirement for new norms exceeded its anticipation. The airline has issued an apology to its passengers. It has assured the passengers that they will be informed about the change in flight status. It has gone on to say that it is working to reduce the impact of disruptions and restore normalcy. Now, pilot associations have also claimed the carrier was not prepared for the new FDTL rules despite sufficient notice. Airline Pilots Association of India said the flight disruptions reflected a failure of proactive resource planning by dominant airlines like IndiGo. The Federation of Indian Pilots say that the disruption is a direct consequence of IndiGo's prolonged and unorthodox lean manpower strategy across departments, particularly in flight operations. Now, the grouping claimed that despite the 2-year preparatory window before full FDTL implementation, the airline inexplicably adopted a hiring freeze, entered non-poaching arrangements, maintained a pilot pay freeze as well, and also demonstrated other short-sighted planning practices. Well, that's all on the IndiGo issue. Over to you, Samiksha.